This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you love them. Because love lives here.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up? Another live episode of Short Shifts, or I don't know if this one's live. Maybe the second week is live. But, Toph, your question. Short shifts tonight. I completely thought of this on my own. And something that Toph and I talk about are one of our newer sponsors, Helios Hockey. For me, I've talked about on this podcast many, many times. I wish that I would have started watching hockey at a younger age. I wish I would have video. The first time I ever did video was when I moved into Toph's house. I was 16-year-old playing for the Chicago Chill midget major team. That was the first time I ever did video. Now you can do it way sooner. I think it's one of the best ways to get better at hockey. Helios, the package, you sign up, you use our code, get a discount. You get your shifts cut right away. Unbelievable. Toph, if I'm a parent at home and I get Helios for my young player, we're talking about the younger players. How are you going to go about deciding how often to do the video? Are you good? Can you get coaches to help you with the video? Do you reach out to your coach and say, hey, coach, can you go through the video with little Danny here? I got his shifts clipped. How can people who are buying the Helios product, how can they get the most out of that technology? Because I think it would have made me a way better player way sooner.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can go with this. Thank you for taking a minute and a half to ask that question.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
But no, I do agree. Like having the ability to have your shifts cut up for you, like that's an absolute game changer. Absolutely. Like you and I used to have to like rewind and fast forward on VHS.
Jimmy did that. We'd sit in junior hockey. Literally,
Jimmy
he
McGroarty
had to hold the rewind button. And then, nope, that's not you. It's the wrong guy. Rewind some more. Like it's a game changer to have this tech.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple different questions you had in there. I think the first question is like, are there people out there who are doing video kind of like consulting with people? And that answer is yes. Nar actually used to do that with a lot of the guys before he got into coaching at the Red Wings. But the person that I really believe, and again, like we've had him on the podcast, and I'm sure there's other people that do a really good job, but Brian Kane with Prodigy Hockey, like he has a team, they do a phenomenal job, just an absolute phenomenal job. Kaner is one of the best hockey minds in the world. And that's why he got a job as a development coach with the Chicago Blackhawks, and his team are the people that I recommend. But I'm sure there are other really good people out there that do that. So if you have the means to be able to, being able to talk to somebody that's very knowledgeable about the game can be very helpful. Doing it with your coach. I think doing it with your coach can be really, really impactful because your coach is the one that's obviously on the ice with you and sees you the most and has his structure or her structure and has their habits that they really believe in. And so like being able to watch video with the coach is, I think, a really good thing because then it can add a little bit of a personal flavor, right? Like, cause that person knows exactly what they want out of you and can coach you and give you feedback based upon what they see as they're kind of going through their process. So I think it could be really beneficial to do it with their coach. And like, ask your coach if you have this ability 100%, you should ask them. It's their job, to make you a better hockey player, make you a better person. And I always found that as a coach, like it was one thing to teach hockey, but the other thing that is even more impactful is you're just building a relationship with that player. Like it's building the relationship with the player so they can buy in and so you can figure out what makes them tick. You can figure out like how they process the game. So like as a coach for me, like it was a lot of asking questions, like, what did you see here? And why'd you make that decision? Instead of like, you should have done this on this play and you should have done this on this play. It's so much more of a two-sided conversation. One of the things that I actually did in my last year coaching in youth hockey at the midget level is I would watch video with two players, and I would have player A talk about player B's video, and I wanted that person to coach that person's video, and then vice versa. And that was really cool because then like these guys aren't dumb, they're like smart hockey kids. And so they were teaching each other things, and it was not coming from me. And as we say all the time, when it comes from a peer, it's a lot more impactful than when it comes from a coach. And so that was really cool in guiding those conversations, and the players, just from their feedback, they really enjoyed that too. They really, really enjoyed that. And so those are just some things that I think could really help. You can do video at any age, honestly. At the youngest of ages, you're not teaching much. Like, you're just like, it's really cool for kids to kind of see. Like, I wouldn't teach a whole heck of a lot to kids who are like mites or squirts. All I would do is ask questions. Oh, what do you see in here? And like, why'd you make that decision? And like, oh, that was pretty interesting. What were you doing? And maybe a little bit of teaching, but like, I would want to explore and get into their heads, and instead of telling them exactly what to do, like guiding them to the answers.
And don't make it an hour if you're doing it with
no,
that you dip
5 minutes.
You're dipping the toe in the water here, dude, to build that base for them to understand when they get older why they're doing it and things like that.
NHL coaches don't last more than 5 to 10 minutes with their video sessions with their players. So if you think as a youth coach you want to do that, like, no, thank you.
Squirrel.
Squirrel, exactly. And so, yeah, man, like, I think those are just some really practical ways to be able to use, an awesome product like Helios. Again, we wouldn't help promote products we don't believe in. And yeah, like, I think video is a really cool resource. I think a lot of kids are visual learners now, based on the fact that they're watching TV or screens seemingly all day, every day, if they can. And so, yeah, it's just a great tool to be able to, number one, teach, but also number two, build that relationship and get into that kid's head to see how they process the game, because that'll allow you to coach them a lot better too.
So awesome. Thank you for the in-depth answer.
You're welcome.
How old were the players when you had them do video with each other, like coach each other?
They were U16.
Yeah. That is awesome. That is awesome. I don't know anybody out there, like what their experience is with this, but when I was playing pro and I started my training company after my third year pro, I would do on ice lessons and off ice training in the beginning. And I 100% noticed immediately the first summer I did one-on-one on ice lessons that I started to do things better, because my brain had to think about it a different way to coach it to different players. So by me coaching a skill that I was already doing all the time, but coming at it from a different angle made me such a better player. Like, I can't understate this enough. I got way better as my pro career went on. And it was because I started coaching, I think, and I had to attack problems from a different angle, and it unlocked something in my brain. So I think it's really cool for team buy-in, chemistry, looking at problems a different way, like I just said, that to do that with your team. I think that is so cool, man. How did the kids like it?
They really liked it. They really liked it. And I kind of threw it out there, like, at the end of the year. And that's another thing, like, as a youth coach, again, like a lot of youth coaches, they don't have time to do video with everybody individually.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally impossible. Even if you're only doing it for 5 minutes,
right.
Like, it's impossible to do it individually with everybody. And so, like, finding a way to do it, like with a line, or maybe D partners, or a forward group, or a defenseman group, like, that's a way to kind of cut things up to be able to, like, do it. And in those instances, again, like, video sessions, especially at the youth levels, should be a lot of asking questions. Should be a lot of asking questions as the coach and getting into their heads. And you can guide them to particularly the answers that you wanted to guide them to. But the more that it can be like a conversation between two people, or you and the group, rather than, like, as a coach, you need to be doing this, you need to be here, blah, 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 blah. Like, I just think it goes so much more for the retention of, like, them actually, using whatever it is that you're trying to teach them on the ice, and also for the buy-in too.
The medulla oblongata is the part
The
of the
medulla
brain.
oblongata.
Man, dude, I really think that's so cool. How young would you start doing that? Do you think that it could be like a fruitful exercise? Like
I think
12?
you can do that. Oh no, you can do that at any age. Again, if you're
Yeah.
doing it with like mites, like there's not going to get much out of it other than like, hey, we're going to watch some video. Like, how cool is
Yeah.
this? Make
Yeah.
it fun.
Yeah.
Make video fun. And if you do it where it's fun, like then like as you get older, like the kids are going to want to do it.
Right.
And like
you're not just building for that season. You're building the base of the pyramid for them in 4 years or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So cool.
And do it as a team, or like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. But anyway, time is up.
Share the show.
Share the show, baby.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.